Hello there, and welcome back to Jediism 101, where we've been discussing what it is to be a Jedi realist in today's modern world. As a summary, a Jedi realist is a person who has taken a look at the Star Wars universe, the Jedi therein, that was created by George Lucas, being the movies, the books, the comics, the role-playing game, and the TV series, and has said, "Hey, this might not be a bad way to attempt to live. Let's see what we can put together." And some very smart people comb through all of the lore and all of the basis of what the Jedi were to become, based on what George Lucas had said was the original concept was, and put together a system of beliefs that closely mirrors the Jedi that we see. What we have been discussing currently are the beliefs of the Jedi. Now, these are common concepts that we have been working with within the Jediism world. These are also, decent ways to probably live outside of Jediism, regularly, but that is completely up to you. So I'm only going to do the next two beliefs because current in our current society, where we've been having a few uh, headlining issues, these two are very important. So Jedi believe in the importance of democracy within religious, political, and other structures. So my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. Democracy is something we're sorely lacking these days, I think, in the United States, or at least a good picture of what it is supposed to be. What now? Keep in mind, this is my beliefs. I don't speak for the Jedi Order. There are many versions of the Jedi realists out there, so keep in mind this is just my humble opinion of what these guys mean and how they're affecting today. So it's important to look at most structures and think democratically. You need a leader, don't get me wrong, but I think a true leader gets gets input from from his subordinates or from the people he's working with. Not necessarily subordinates, teammates, whatever, however you want to call it. But a true leader takes in everybody's perspective before making a decision. In a true democracy, that means everybody gets a vote. And where at that point in time the needs of the many outweigh the deeds of the few, and we have a direction to go in. Yes, I know that's a Star Trek quote. I haven't lit myself on fire just yet, because I can like both fandoms at the same time and reference them both at the same time in the same sentence. So but democracy is more than just everybody gets a vote. It's everybody gets a say. So everybody should get a say in what's going on around them. And this is where we come to the table and we talk about our choices, our discussions, our differences. Sometimes we have to agree to disagree. I know that's a hot topic for a lot of people, but since we talked about the sanctity of human life and respect just because we're human, doesn't mean somebody of a differing opinion gets less respect. I don't have to like what your ideals are to respect you. And I think democracy is that respect, that democratic process of discussion and voting and opinions putting into the bucket and seeing how many people go which way. The next belief talking about here is Jedi believe in the separation of church and state and the freedoms of speech, association, and expression. Once again, this really takes home the incidents of this past week. I am trying very hard not to get political or mention highlights, or not highlights, but mention headlines. There we go. Of this last week's happenings, just because I'm trying to be respectful of it. And I honestly, at this point in time, the last thing anybody needs is another commentator on TikTok. Really, we don't need another one. But the separation of church and state. This is a law our country is built on as well. The church does not have the church is the church, the state is the state. And this is where I disagree with with some of our representatives in politics, where they start bringing in their religion as part of their argument. And I'm like, but separation of church and state means you shouldn't be mentioning your religious beliefs. They can hone who you are. Don't get me wrong. I can be someone who represents the state and have a religion, and that religion will shape my personal morality, but I don't think it needs to be within the discussion itself. If I can't make a discussion without using a religious a piece of my religion to justify it, then the argument doesn't work, because I have to be able to talk to the person across the table from me in their own language, and their own language may not cover church. Now, along with this belief, of course, the freedoms of speech, association, and expression. One thing about the First Amendment for freedom of speech is you are free to say whatever you'd like, but you are not free of those consequences. So this is where your morality, knowing right from wrong, and knowing when a hot button topic should not have any more fire or any more gas thrown on top of the fire. I believe, I want to hope that we continue to be able to talk and express ourselves in a judicious way, a democratic way, a way that says, well, here is what I think, and here's my reasonings why. Give me the backup. Give me passion is fine. You can have passion, but passion can rule reason. You need reason. So when your freedom of speech, make sure that you are backing it up with more than just your feelings. As Jedi, we control our emotions. The emotions do not control us. Therefore, the emotion, which may set us in motion towards action, does not rule us to make the action happen no matter what. Make an argument. Make the best argument you can. If the argument fails, either wasn't that good an argument or theirs was better. Or you just weren't prepared, or I don't know. That's part of discussion. You're not always going to be right. And I think when going into these situations, you need to know that you may not win. Keep that in mind. That keeps us humble. So I'm going to leave it with those two beliefs for right now, as my time is clicking fast. But I want to invite everybody in for discussion. Please leave a like, a comment, a question, whatever you'd like. I will do my best to answer it as honestly and succinctly as I possibly can. No guarantees. Depends on the question you ask. So keep in mind there's a word limit on there's a limit on what I can say or how much I can say in one comment. But until then, make sure that you're eating more clean food, drinking more water, getting out and being active, getting some fresh air, touching some grass, being kind to the environment, be kind to animals, be kind to that person that you meet on the street because they're fighting battles you don't know anything about and you don't need to be part of that problem. And also, make sure to be kind to yourself because you only have the one self and you deserve it. Till then, my friends, thank you for coming. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you.